Just quickly, this game is amazing and I'd hate to ruin it for anyone that hasn't already played it. So if you haven't gone to play it, then come back and then watch my video after you've played it. Spoiler warning.
What's up, fuckers?
Hello everyone, it's me, Betweensardine, and welcome to a little small in-game you might not have heard of. It's called Metro Exodus.
There's just a lot of
It's
fun
a frequently
games.
exhilarating of Metro awesome.
Game's good as fuck. Set in the harsh, nuclear winter of Moscow, we roleplay as silent Chadjak Artyom, someone who dreams of leaving the underground refuge of the Metro in hopes of finding somewhere on the surface that has little to no radiation where he and his comrades can make their home. The game actually starts with this cold opening on one such expedition where the game introduces you to the much hated spider enemy. Do these freak you guys out, or is it just me? We get jumped by what I can only assume is the collective amalgamation of every furry in Moscow who went out into the radiation to hopefully mutate into something fat. Irregardless of this, the fuzzies attack us and all hope seems lost pretty quickly until we get saved by our brothers. These are the Order, or the Watchmen, or the Metroites. I don't know and I don't remember, because this game bugged the dialogue, so I could only hear it while I was looking directly at the speaker.
Amazing, bratuха, that was crazy. Those mutants are pretty hardcore. I never have a chance against them. You could see with my binoculars. It's a miracle. Still works.
Literally unplayable.
However, we'll get to that later because I have a few choice words about the bugs in this game. Anyways, the lads save us and we get back to the Metro, where a few key characters are introduced, like Idiot. They actually named him that. And your wife, Anna. And oh my god, she is so badass throughout the game. Typically, I don't play games with women in them as I get too scared and typically close down the game instantly. But this time, I think I'll make an exception. Problem now is that Artyom keeps going to the surface and getting all his blood irradiated by the fuck tons of radiation up there from the nuclear warheads. So the other Metroites have to keep giving Artyom their blood so he doesn't die, and the doctor is real fed up, meaning we probably can't go out again. So anyways, we go out and do it again, but this time with Anna so we can irradiate twice as much blood at the same time. A little shootout happens with the fuzz. Basically, fuzz means furry. But then something strange happens, where you get kidnapped by... Wait, is that... And we proceed to get shot through our fucking head and fucking die. Wow, great game, 11 blues out of a Pinkerton. No, but actually, even though we got shot through the head, looking straight down the barrel, our magical syringe heals all. A small nitpick that consistently affects my enjoyment of Metro Exodus is how much it tries to realism max and be super deep and interesting with complex mechanics and things to do, only for it to pull a complete 180 at certain points and become as video gamey as possible. But I digress. We cringe on, eventually infiltrating the base of the loyal Hansa soldiers who only killed a few kids, as a joke of course. We meet Yermak, a key character for the rest of the game, whose name I only just now learned from the wiki. Thanks Metro Exodus audio bug. Anyways, we slowly shoot through the base, learning the fundamental mechanics along the way, and some useless ones. Some key ones to remember are pressing Y to see your wristwatch, providing invaluable information about things like how much time is left on your filter, which you can replace by pressing G. Cringing on at the speed of sound, we eventually realize that the war that turned Russia into a nuclear wasteland hasn't actually ended. This fucking guy had every chance to shoot me and instead he decided to push the woman first. That's crazy. There's jammers up, just like this one, blocking communication across all of Russia, which is why Artyom's expeditions always led to nothing. Well, basically it's a freaking jammer.
Take that!
Kind of like me when I DM the goth bitches and get left on red. Naturally, the Hamza squad aren't very happy with our intrusion, so we hijack the train that they've conveniently stored in the center of their base to make a clean getaway. Not before getting flashbanged and almost killed by our wife's father. Our fate. Yep, this guy is Colonel Miller, and he is one of my favorite characters for reasons you'll see later. Anyways, after all is said and done, we chart a course to Yamantau, an underground government bunker that should have answers on what's going on with the war that's supposedly raging on in Russia. With the newly dubbed Aurora, we get moving to Yamantau. After a little traveling, we stop around this place called the Volga, because there's some people ahead blocking the train's path and we need to go investigate. Artyom, you go kill the enemies. Anna, you recon. Huh, Idiot, you just be idiot. Just quickly, I'd like to point out how amazing this level is at instantly immersing you. Just watch this, and if you're listening, just hear the sounds. There's clearly been a lot of work done in order to immerse the player, whether it be in sound design or gameplay wise.
Fucking phenomenal.
We cross a river with the average redditor coming out of his basement swamp to attack us. And we move on to the crazy fucking church cult and rescue the average single mother, which naturally, once we give her a room in the Aurora, I will be raising the rent twofold. Anyways, not much of note happened for a while, just immersive Slavic gameplay moving from objective to objective. We climb a crane at one point, rescue a teddy bear from Big Bird, and eventually get to the part where the game really goes off and shows just what 2019 hardware was really capable of. Oh yeah, this game came out in 2019, if you can believe that. I think I was grinding to hit gold in Brawlhalla back then, but I digress. Quickly, I forgot to mention that we had to save our wife, and I low-key shit my pants in this section. But it kinda slanders Anna, so I'm gonna skip over it. Please subscribe. We do a bunch of nothing burger missions, and then Artyom, go press the forward the plot switch 2 kilometers away from here. Just FYI gang, my footage is fucking corrupted, so for some parts of this game I'm going to be liberating footage from these channels that upload 6K 800 FPS gameplay. When I'm doing this, there will be a marker in the top left and a link to the footage under the creators rip from section in the description. Anyways, we decided to steal a boat in a pretty fun stealth section, or at least that's what I decided to do. This game loves to give you a million ways to tackle a mission, either stealth, loud then run away into stealth, etc, etc. It not only helps to contribute to the game's immersion, as I don't feel locked into pushing the X button for Y rewards. There's even different outcomes for different approaches. You shouldn't have trouble figuring out which one the game wants you to do, as Anna and Miller will signpost the fuck out of the stealth option 100 million times before each mission. You shouldn't glance over it because it actually contributes to the ending you get, which can be a controversial feature as it alienates those who want to take the other route. I believe it contributes to the immersion, as stealth and mercy is often a part of the supposed good ending, and it makes sense if you actually take a look at the world in Artyom's shoes. Anyways, rant aside, we snag the boat and climb up the bridge that needs to be lowered so we can pass, and pass without Duke dying, which is the consequence of failing this stealth area. So we made it the freak out of there. The freaky church cult was creeping me out too much, so I'm glad we got the fuck out of there. So we move on to Yamantau. Huzzah! We can finally get some answers on what the crud is going on with the war in Russia, because I don't know if you've noticed, but there are no occupying forces, meaning something fishy is afoot. No, basically we lied, and we're also a cannibal cult. What the freak? Genuinely, what the fuck? We break out of the cannibal cult after being kidnapped, and I was low-key mad as hell, PMO, because he was threatening Anna and shit, and I just couldn't let that slide. Or I suppose she couldn't let that slide. Then we get the freak out of there after an awesome chase sequence with the cannibals stalking us at every turn. Yamantau is vastly different from all the levels and acts, more like a 30-minute to an hour-long cutscene with shooting segments and chasing segments in between, which I don't mind at all. I love the games with mix-up gameplay here and there, but what you'll notice quickly when you play Metro Exodus is that it knows just how to keep throwing new shit your way without it being forced, contrived, or feeling strange. At one point, we end up losing all of our guns and have to fend for ourselves in a forest, but instead of feeling like bullshit, it feels like a genuine test of the stealth skills you've procured throughout the game. Now directionless, Artyom and the mystery crew stop off at the Caspian, due to the presence of a government bunker where we can nab some documents that illustrate the most to least irradiated places in Russia. Basically, habitable and inhabitable joints for the crew to settle down in on the surface, which was Artyom's goal all along, if you forgot. Now, this is a proper splendid time to discuss the bugs in this game. A year ago, I replayed this game. I made it to the Caspian and my entire character despawned. So I only had a gun. No hands, no hitbox, no way to interact, no way to die, meaning my save was corrupted and broken. This, on top of the audio bug, made it really hard for me to finish this game, and I was mega fucking fuming. Also, I've had some instances of enemies straight up spotting me through a wall, and when the game rams a pineapple up your ass every time you fuck up stealth, it didn't feel too good and made me want to commit walkout into radiation in. This video boring as fuck to me.